Evening, good evening. Here we are back again. It's Tuesday, just about to be 9:30 in the evening, right here in Aberdeen. Gotta love it up here in the Granite City. Another day, another dollar, another live stream. um, so with this stuff, I was wanting to still just a little bit more with all this, Diddy controversy. Was going to get into all of that. With this, I'm just gonna no one's here right now, so I'll just leave it a few minutes, just wait, and we'll see. Hopefully, we'll get the numbers up a little bit. I'll do what I usually do. I'll get the link sent out on social media. Just one moment. Do, 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 do. Do, 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 do. I was hoping to. I said it on Sunday that I was going to try do a live stream for it was yesterday now Monday, but then I did say if not Monday it would be today. So I did try and stay true to my word. It would be either it was going to be either yesterday or today that I would do it. Um, do, 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 do. But just get a weird feeling that maybe I leave these a bit late when it gets past 9 o'clock, maybe around 8. 8 to 9 is the best time to start them, but we'll see how we are with numbers. Okay. Um, mhm. Okay, just a moment. So I was a little last minute doing this. So I don't know, the regs might be busy out doing something else, but hopefully we get one or two will join. Do, do, do. Okay, so that's got a few of the links sent out, so that hopefully get the numbers up. So I want to make a start getting into this. So as I say, with the headline for this, um, it will Diddy be uninvited from the 2024 Grammy Awards? And I was talking the other day saying that if Diddy does gets cancelled, uninvited from appearing at these like the Grammy Awards, these are our big red carpet type events that all the big the A-listers are at, is no longer will be appearing on the like the Jimmy Kimmel, Jimmy Fallon show, Graham Norton show, even here in the UK, that would maybe be a sign that the industry, the machine, that world is kind of maybe trying to wash their hands of him and don't really want anything to do with him with all this and because of all this stuff that's going on with Diddy right now in with all the allegations. And I don't think that would necessarily come from a place of morality, like they're doing the right thing. I think it's just more that industry just wants to. It's just one of those things like, hey, nothing to do with me. You're on your own here. But I mean, when you hear a lot of these allegations with Diddy and stuff, with sexual assault and there's stuff to do with with trafficking, sex trafficking, human trafficking. Um, you could say that Diddy, you could say that Diddy is, the main perpetrator in this, but there'll be other people there involved as well. People there complicit alongside him. I mean, there's various, stuff now of allegations. It's hard to keep up. There was one allegation of Diddy and the R&B singer Aaron Hall had raped a girl. There'll be other stuff there with, when it comes to Diddy in his, team, like let's say people like his security or just people in the entourage that, that they were spiking the women's drinks that would go to these parties. And it was interesting. I came across a clip it was Diddy's old bodyguard, Gene Deal. And Gene Deal made an interesting point that, the whole story about it being, they were spiking the champagne bottles. Well, that, with that, you're popping champagne, and that would be the big thing that these dudes who fancy themselves as ballers, they want to impress the women by, let's pop champagne, pop bottles. That's that life, So they wouldn't have done that with champagne, but they would have, because there could be a lot of girls that you go to these parties that don't drink alcohol, but they would spike like they had orange juice, cranberry juice, whatever, they would do that. So it's some pretty, effed up shit there. You'd think like, I mean, I used to put Diddy up on a pedestal. This guy's a mogul, rapper. He's in acting, producer, whatever. I kind of admired him at one point when I was young, dumb, and I didn't know any better. But there's just a lot of fucked up shit here, and this stuff now, with like looking back now to these parties where people dress up all white. I don't know. That could have very well been hell for a lot of people. Like if stuff there was what's been alleged with drinks being spiked, Diddy's team having the drinks spiked for the girls there. So there might be potential stuff there when it comes to allegations, like similar to like what Bill Cosby had, with there was all that stuff with Bill Cosby with drugging and raping. There was the whole thing of, I think Quaaludes was a big thing back in the day in those parties in the 70s. And some people that try to defend Bill Cosby will try and say that that was standard, that was very common back then. But I don't think it's very common that you would, give that to somebody without their consent, the drug, and then you proceed to, when they're conked out, go and have sex with them. That's not right. You can't. There's no way you could condone that or attempt to justify it. But then there's maybe people there that are just big fans of Bill Cosby and what that that whole thing with the Cosby Show and what he did, and some would say he did a lot. When it comes to the Black African American community, on how they were perceived, that it was like a positive light. That Cosby Show paved the way for when you had Fresh Prince of Bel-Air later on. And I'm sure people will put Diddy up on a pedestal for what he's done when it comes to that, aspirational lifestyle, because that was very much what it was about Diddy in the 90s. It was about Cristal. It was about, the parties, the women. And, if you've been brought up low income household and you're maybe into rap and you look up to that stuff, that aspirational type of life, that culture. And that's, something I've done. And when I was young, dumb, didn't know any better, like I said. But it's just there's the old thing, don't have heroes, bro. Don't have heroes because they'll let you down. And not that Diddy was ever really a hero of mine, but I did kind of at one point certainly admire him, but I think when you just look into all this stuff though, and all the rumors that have been out there for years now, the whole stuff about the bad boy curse, you look into that, all the people that suffered and essentially became casualties to the number one, the music business, and then number two being around him. It's just it's just I don't know. And Diddy always finds a way though to kind of thrive and do well and make more money and become more successful. But perhaps his time's up now and karma is coming to collect. And with this stuff here, so the headline, so that Sean Diddy Combs faces major loss amid sexual assault claims. So it says that Sean Diddy Combs' attendance in the upcoming Grammy might be in peril after sexual assault lawsuit. After stepping down from Revoke chairmanship, Sean Diddy Combs' entrance in the Grammys for next year, 2024, was evaluated by the Recording Academy after the music producer was embroiled in a sexual assault lawsuit. He's been the best progressive R&B album for the Love album Off the Grid. The serious allegations against him prompted the organization to release this statement, which reads, "We are taking this matter very seriously. We are in the process of evaluating it with the time and care that it deserves," the Grammy creators told RadarOnline.com. The latest shock to the Bad Boy Records founder comes after his e-commerce site Empower Global Investors list thinned as multiple women stepped forward to accuse the R&B mogul of sexually assaulting. So I did that video, that was the title the other day. So it was 18 companies overall who've severed ties with Diddy. Meanwhile, a women's right group, Ultraviolet, doubled down pressure on the Recording Academy to cancel both the three-time Grammy Award nomination and invitation from the forthcoming award show. Talking to the outlet, the group's director, Elisa Batista, said, "We are deeply disturbed, concerned by the recent allegations of sexual abuse, sex trafficking of a minor, and domestic violence made against Sean Diddy ability, and that the Me Too movement is relevant and badly needed more than ever. We will always stand with and believe survivors, full stop." So, I mean, I feel with this, if he's uninvited from the Grammys, which, people say, well, the Grammys is irrelevant, but it's a big deal in that. And then there's all the agendas that they'll push in that show. There'll be all that Illuminati occult bullshit. So the Grammys is a big deal to the music artists and then all the other, vapid, superficial celebrities. So if Diddy gets uninvited from that show, if he's cancelled from that, that might be a sign that things aren't going to turn out well for him in the end going forward. That if they try and just forget about all of this but still decide, no, that's okay, but he can come, then that's maybe a sign that he will have high power, friends in very high places with a lot of power that will vow to protect them. I just like for me, a guy like Diddy, it's like Diddy, I think, is addicted to the limelight. I think it would be tough for Diddy, even if Diddy was just told, by people, look, lay low, don't worry, we'll have your back. Just lay low for a little bit on this. Don't be too public with anything. I just feel that the Diddy's ego, he's like so addicted to the limelight. It will be hard for him to do that. I just think that because this guy's been around for so long and, because this is the ego of a guy that was the producer, right, for Bad Boy, but he always had to be in the limelight, And Suge Knight made an interesting point about that on one of the award show things about, you should come to us at Death Row. You won't always have your rapper, the producer in the video doing ad libs, this, that, the other. Suge Knight was seen a lot in, the media too. It wasn't like he was just behind the scenes in the background. People knew who Suge Knight was. But Diddy, I don't know, man. It doesn't look good, but I still have a weird thing in me that feels like he'll still be able to survive it. It won't be like an R. Kelly situation, that he's more savvy than R. Kelly was, better businessman. Just surrounds himself with really smart people. It was maybe a little bit different for R. Kelly, being a thing, he couldn't read, he was illiterate, people took advantage of him. Yeah, no boo hoo, obviously, from what happened to him, but still, I feel Diddy will have people in high places. And I just have a hard time believing, like, people like Jay Z and Pharrell would ditch Diddy, that they would vow to still protect him. Even people like, like a Busta Rhymes who would work with Diddy, they would still want to, in the end, defend him and, have his back. That's how I see it anyway. Some people might see that a little bit differently from me. Um, there'll be a lot of Diddy haters, people, enemies he's made over the years. I mean, there's the guy Gene Deal, and Gene Deal doesn't like Diddy at all, and that obviously didn't end well. His former bodyguard. But when I hear Gene Deal, just hearing him overall talk, and when he's like telling stories, even if it's as far back as like 27, 28 years ago, and he's saying that things that he said that Diddy told him at the time, I just, for whatever reason it is, I just believe Gene Deal. I just don't feel he's bullshitting when he says these things. And then when there's so other people out there that tell stories about Diddy, and it's similar stuff, the stuff to do with abusing women, whether it's sexual assault, physical assault, and just all this other shady stuff involving Diddy. It's just where there's smoke, there's fire. Where there's smoke, there's fire. That's how I feel. And just when you watch Gene Deal is something to check out. Um, I just don't think he would just simply be making all this up. There might be a bit of sour grapes on Gene Deal's part. Gene Deal maybe didn't was a bit better over how things turned out. Again, I haven't. Gene Deal says a lot of things being critical of Diddy, but then you never quite hear the story of how it all ended with him and Diddy. But I don't know. I mean, it's pretty obvious for me. I'm not a fan of Diddy. I do think this stuff is true. What Cassie is saying, maybe not all the other people, the stories, accusations of women, but the majority of it I do believe to be true. And now just comes to think, it's just a matter of, well, Diddy, has he got enough high, friends in high places that would able to protect him from all of this whole shitstorm that's been coming his way. So I guess we'll just have to just wait and see how that's going to play out. Just a second. But somebody, I was just looking at this on YouTube. Someone said that Diddy had liked a comment, but they had said in the comment that he was an abuser, but he liked it. So I don't know if that was just he liked it by mistake. He was supposed to, but then there's not an unlike button on Instagram, is there? I don't think. Someone's saying here, I never said Diddy was guilty or innocent. I only said that black men get cancelled like this from allegations and no proof, no trial and no conviction. White men don't. Again, this is, you know, I don't. It's a bit of a generalization to say that. There's the stuff. I mean, people say stuff with Elvis and younger girls and that, and that's maybe a valid point there with stories about what's come out with Elvis and Elvis, was where was he from? He was from Memphis. What was quite common in Memphis is that guys would buddy. There was Jerry Lee Lewis that got his cousin when she was only buddy 13. So this stuff was kind of like what was kind of weird and unacceptable to most people in the world. It was kind of normal in like in the South. And but there's definitely some weird stories out there with Elvis though, but I think so many people put him up on a pedestal. He is. Some might say he's seen as like a white savior that I don't know. Well, don't think Elvis the legacy would ever be cancelled. I couldn't see that, but someone hear about a diss Mace had on Diddy. Um, I haven't heard Mace say too much though. Has Mace commented on all this stuff? I mean, 50 Cent's commented on it, but for the most part, rappers in general have been stayed quite quiet on this and what their thoughts on this. I haven't heard many of our rappers talk about this with Diddy. I don't know if I've heard anybody make a comment like a Drake, like a J. Cole, a Kendrick Lamar. Everybody's been quite silent on this stuff. Uh, So I mean, I said that comment before. Surviving P Diddy coming soon. Um, One of my regulars, Lanny, he had a little bit of a different take on it. He doesn't necessarily think that that's going to happen. Um, I go back to what Lanny said because I don't think it was just a case of Lanny going to be a controversial, be difficult, but he had his own take on it. What was Lanny saying to me? He said something. So first off, Lanny said, "I never knew there was a stink around this Puff Daddy." Well, there has been stories for years, but the complainant being an ex-partner, so some people might say that's the thing to discredit them, a better ex. How do we know he is a Harvey Weinstein type wrong'un? I'm no fan of the guy, so I don't really feel unbiased at all towards this rapper. If he is guilty, he should be in court 100%. But are we going to give this geezer due process? So fair enough, fair comment there with Lanny. I said to Lanny, we'll have to wait and see if there will be any criminal cases and not just civil ones. And then I said, there's been stories about him for years. I mean, there have been a lot of stories for years, but for some reason, not very few people just say out what like it is about Diddy. I think the only rapper that's been quite vocal about it is like 50 Cent. He's the one guy. I can't think of anyone else who has been critical of Diddy. When you think of a high up successful rapper, most people have just kept quiet. And somehow that just sums up all the power that the guy has. But then Lanny said to me, so he said, if you were this huge music star, you're going to get haters though. It's deplorable behavior if it's true that he was drugging victims, etc. If he is innocent, he needs to come out refuting the sharpish. Well, I mean, the thing is, I understand what you're saying, Lanny. Lanny, if you hear this later on, mate, and we can chat about this again. But the thing was, there was the lawsuit, right? A daily settles the lawsuit. I don't know in a case in history that from a lawsuit being issued and then it being settled within 24 hours. Have you ever seen a lawsuit being settled that fast? You know, with all that stuff with Michael Jackson was it 95, 96. He never settled it that fast though. And some people, there was that whole thing, settling it. Oh, it wasn't an admission of guilt. And some people say this with Diddy. Him settling the lawsuit doesn't necessarily mean that's an admission of guilt. But I don't know how else the way to look at a lawsuit is. It would be an admission of guilt. You know, I don't see how else this would how else that is. I mean, at the end of the day, if someone's slandering like that, and I mean, is that not just? I don't know. I just don't get that. It just doesn't look good. And look, and I don't think it's a case of just people like, oh, they're putting their guy up on a pedestal, right? But I made that mistake before, because I was a big Michael Jackson fan, right? And I, as a young kid, didn't want to believe it, the allegations. We all know what those allegations are. I don't have to get me specific about them. But even in the back of my head, it was like, maybe this is true, but I didn't want to believe it. But now, like I'm in my late 20s, even though I loved his music, there's that part of me that says, well, maybe it was true, some of the allegations. Maybe not all of them, but some. But I put that guy up a pedestal so freaking high. I can remember back when I was 8 years old and I heard "I Want You Back," and that's the Michael Jackson that I wanted to like, and because I could see this guy white as a ghost when I was young. That wasn't the Michael Jackson that I really, resonated with me. It was more the younger guy, the kid. That was like Michael Jackson's purest form. And someone made a comment when he was singing "I Want You Back." It was like, he was like a 40-year-old guy. He was like, he was beyond his years. He was an old soul. That kind of thing. But anyway, I went off there. But I didn't want to believe it about Michael Jackson. What I'm saying. And will there be some people? I don't know if people feel that strongly when it comes to Diddy defending him, but there will be some people there that will just write it off. People like guys that love rap and just victim shame and just say that, oh, it's people X is looking for a payday, this, that, the other. There'll be those people there as well. There will be those people. But overall though, yeah, I mean, it doesn't look good with Diddy, but I don't know. Not sure there'll be a surviving P Diddy documentary out anytime soon though, like there was with R. Kelly. But moment. WWE star Jade Cargill, God, her mum lost her mum in a battle with cancer. That's terrible. Looks quite similar to her mum. Gee, that's bad. That's terrible. She had just gone to WWE. It's terrible that. Yeah, definitely stick to doing these live streams at 9 o'clock. Someone's saying about the Grammy Awards what they said. They ain't want Kanye there for his personal feelings being mentioned out loud. This guy here is a violent monster. If he's still invited, he's definitely being helped. Yeah, well, that's the thing, friends in high places. I had sent out a message to the regs, but must be maybe doing something else. Planning for Christmas, getting the Christmas tree up. Just have to wait and see. Oh, Julia Cass. Hi, good evening, Julia Cass. Hi, how are you doing? Good to be to join. I was counting. Yeah, it's a couple of people have come in and out, Julia Cass, but yeah, just you and me, man. Just me and you. That was the name, funny enough, of Cass's debut song, She signed to Diddy's Bad Boy Records. No clue what she was really getting herself into, that pure girl. Um, just still going on just with his Diddy stuff, talk that he might be getting uninvited to the the Grammy Awards, which might be a sign that, you know, if he's getting invited from a big event like that, you know, he could be possibly, you know, quote unquote, you know, cancelled. Um, but I think if he's there, if he does go, then if he is shows up, then there's a sign that, you know, he's got very high, powerful friends that'll try and, you know, have his back. What's he been up to? Well, he's just trying to probably survive at this stage and hope that all the allegations and all this that stuff about him will go away. Russell Brand. That's a good question. Russell Brand. God, let's look him up. Russell Brand. Russell Brand. He's got a festive message or something. Videos where he's bashing Biden. You know what I mean? He's you know, he's found his base. You know, you know, he just needs to attack Biden, and he'll always have that crowd of people right wing who'll, despite all that stuff there and multiple allegations, they'll still defend them no matter what. You know, and yeah, all the allegations, all that woman. But it's establishment attack, though, is it, Russ? Establishment attack. Yeah, he's just been laying low. I think he's laying low, just doing his videos on Rumble and YouTube. I mean, there'll be a few different income streams he's lost, but I think he'll still be doing okay though with the money he'll be making from doing stuff on Rumble. I think he'll be getting by all right, and money is made throughout the years. So Russell, he'll be okay. He'll be okay. Unless, you know, we find out in a month or two that Russell Brand has been, you know, get arrested for all the stuff with the previous allegations, whatever. But uh, yeah, in some ways he is. I mean, let's actually, you know what? Let's take a look at Rumble and see what his numbers are. Rumble. He was like Mr. Rumble, right? He was good, like the face of Rumble. I don't know if that's changed now, but Russell Brand, 1.77 million followers. So he's getting about 150, 200,000 views, and 150 to 200,000 views on average on his videos. So it's not the big numbers that he was getting before, right? When he was getting what, close to like 1 million on some of his videos on like YouTube. But still, that's nothing. I mean, I'd love that type of, you know, I'd love those type of views, those numbers, but someone made an interesting point here. You know Zuby? I don't know if you guys know Zuby. Maybe you've heard of Zuby, Julia Cass. He was on the Piers Morgan show, and he took a selfie with Piers Morgan. You know, just appeared on Piers Morgan show to discuss freedom of speech. conversation too nuanced for TV. We should do a podcast sometimes. So he's looking for peers to get on his to have him on his podcast. And then this girl Charlotte Emma pointed out, if you believed in anything you've said over the past few years, you would not be taking a selfie looking like the cat who got the cream with that traitor of humanity. Cheers. Good point. I was just like, I just said to it exactly, exactly right. All right. What was Penny talking about? The National Housing Party guy wasn't on, was he, Julio Cass? I don't know. I'd maybe go back, do a live call in, just shoot the shit. Maybe one time. But if it's the National Housing Party guy, Julio Cass, and he's wearing that wig and everybody's got a straight face, there's no way I could do it. There's no way I'd be able to do that. But for the hell of it, maybe one day, maybe. What else was Russell Brand saying? Dave Chappelle was right on Trump, and Dems have no answer. He's got 43,000 views. That was uploaded about 7 hours ago. Progressed. He's probably regressed, does he, Julio Cass? Is that a word? Right. Nah, it wouldn't be worth my time bringing that clown on. I don't mean to say clown like that's a bit harsh, but he's a human being. He has feelings. But yeah, he didn't seem to really know what he was going on about, eh? And then when you kind of pointed out that he was just talking nonsense, then he kind of backtracked a bit. And yeah, it was not it was hard to watch. Let's put it that way, Lucas. It was not for you. I mean, you came off great. You were just very articulate, came off very well. But some of the people on there, it's hard to kind of, I don't know. Nah, I know. Yeah. I don't know how much Eurocast you've been looking to this stuff with Diddy, but it's just interesting that very few like mainstream rappers have just like not they haven't called Diddy out on this. They haven't commented on all this. Like the only one who's really said anything is like 50 Cent, he's had beef with Diddy for years. Um no, I think you were just being honest about that, Joey Cash. I never thought that was harsh on your part, mate. But no, I know. When you hear bullshit that doesn't sit right within your world, you just call it out for what it is. Don't feel bad about that. But 50 Cent had beef with P. Diddy for a while, though. There was a story that 50 Cent told about P. Diddy offered to take 50 Cent shopping. And he was going to pay for all of it. So How often does a grown man ask another grown man to go shopping? It's a little bit, don't know about that, you know? Stuff here about Alex Jones. Alex Jones has been brought back to Twitter, which surprised me because wasn't Elon saying all that time though he wasn't going to bring him back because of like the whole thing with the Sandy Hook, the parents, the stuff about saying that they were crisis actors. Based on that, he wasn't going to bring them back ever. But it says Alex Jones revealed hidden camera footage. This was back in 2000 that exposed long hidden satanic rituals that had US government officials and prolific business executives attending in the heart of the Redwood Forest. I think that's the Bohemian Grove stuff. The footage captures the dark ritual known as the cremation of care, where attendees of Bohemian Grove burn a human effigy to a 30-foot tall owl statue. So this is all this stuff like similar to like the whole what do you call it? Was it like that? What's that film again? The what's the name of it again? The Wicker Man, right? From the 70s. It's similar type of thing. They burn there. Yeah, I mean, I just wonder how many men Diddy is offered to take them shopping, and he'd pay for everything. God, someone just wouldn't seem right there. You know what I mean? I just don't get that. No, I think you know what. Exhibit was one rapper who had said about some questionable things in Diddy. And then you remember Exhibit Duo Cast Pimp My Ride, it's a pop big show back in the day. It was Exhibit. Exhibit said that Diddy took him to a gay club. Exhibit recently detailed an awkward incident occurred at a New York party in Miami when he was hanging out with Diddy and Karen Steffens. He began the story by saying, Diddy called me outside, like, yo, know about the girl you with? He was like, yeah, N word. Everybody know. And he's like, that's the devil, man. I was like, what do you mean she's the devil? He's like, she'll videotape you with fingers in the butt. I was like, what? What the F are you talking about? After confronting Superhead about the incident, Notorious Video Vixen laughed in responses and said she would explain later. I guess he got some prior incident with her that he don't want nobody to know about, added Exhibit. Upon heading to a club with Diddy and Steffens upon Diddy's invitation, things took a turn for the stranger in the West Coast rapper's story. We get to this club and we walk in the back way. It's a VIP lounge, ain't nobody in there. The club is going, it's jumping, and I'm sitting there with Superhead. This is our nickname. This girl is a video vixen, Karen Steffens. So then Diddy is doing his business. We go down and get a drink. We're sitting there bobbing to the music, and then Superhead point over to the corner. There's two dudes kissing. And I'm like, what the F is this? Then she point in another direction. There's another dude there, butt ass naked dancing. Exhibit said he was so surprised. He left without telling Diddy. We take off. We leave the club directly. I didn't say peace to nobody. It was suspect. You can chalk it up to being Miami or whatever, concluded Exhibit, but I've been in a gang of clubs. I ain't ever mistakenly stepped into a club with that kind of activity. There it is. Yeah. This is just a standard night out when you're with Puff Daddy. Yeah, Westwood, another sketchy guy. I know. Yeah, Exhibit was also, he appeared in 8 Mile as well. He was kind of like an impromptu rap he did. He worked at the same place, Detroit Stampin', that Eminem's character worked at. And then he was rapping, slagging all these folk off, waiting out by the lunch truck. And then Eminem had a go at him and bodied him. But Exhibit released a statement saying it was supplied by Diddy's record label, funnily enough, stating he has no beef with Diddy. I woke up this morning, my phone's going nuts. I turned on the computer and found out all the shit about me, throwing Diddy under the gay bus, whatever that means. All the spin that you journalists are putting on the statements I made on a radio show to directly affect the guy in a manner not intended is wrong. I got a call yesterday which caught me off guard from Diddy himself stating the club was an after hours spot called Space, I believe. The rumor mill has that ground this bullshit out to be the shitstorm that it is doing so on its own accord. Like I said at the top, I have no beef with Diddy. But wait, a bigger problem I see is the negative stance. These hip hop sites and blog sites are talking when speaking of gay people in general. All I can say to people is that grow up. I do not like to spread hate and make it a point not to do so. So this is not in the way I intended this interview to unfold. But the thing is, he revealed the whole thing of, the whole Diddy saying, "Oh, that girl's the devil. She'll tape you with having her finger in your ass." And then, she just laughs it off when he says it to her. But it was kind of implying something there, that something might have happened with this girl. And that he was talking from experience, personal experience. Maybe he was talking from secondhand experience, possibly. But then the fact that, Exhibit releases a statement from Bad Boy, supplied by Bad Boy, is maybe a sign that, Diddy, when he read this, was pretty pissed. I imagine he would have been pissed, and right away, there was maybe a threat there to Exhibit that you better retract this and, give it, make it, that's probably what's happened there. I mean, if this is through Bad Boy, the statement. So what does that tell you? Yeah, there's quite a lot of stories about rappers. There's stuff there about that. There was a rapper from the South called Chingy. There was something about him hooking up with this transsexual woman, and then rumors about that. But then I think apparently later on it got revealed that she had lied about it. But then that story had destroyed his career. There's a few sketchy stories out there with rappers. Yeah, no doubt. I'm sure some are. Yeah, I mean it seems to be just a big secret there with Diddy. So you could say a fairly open one, but uh, you know, I mean, the thing is, it's just a different time now because they are, rappers in the industry, gay rappers. You know, I guess the first big openly gay rapper would have been Lil Nas X. He's like the biggest rapper right going now today. I mean, not in terms of his quality of rapping, but and we're going by numbers of sales and that. But just different times now, man. Different times. Most of them, yeah, most of them. I don't hate all rappers, do I, Cass? There's some okay ones. There's some decent ones. But nah, I mean, you get a couple like Kendrick, J. Cole. They're not necessarily aggressive people, but you get some guys that are quite chill and mellow. Not many though. To be fair, there are a lot that put on that front, but Lil Peep, yeah, Lil Peep, one of the well, he was one of those like mumble rappers, wasn't he? That's horrible what happened to him though, but it just seems to be that thing with these mumble rappers though. They're doing their Percocets, they're doing those Xanaxes or all that stuff, and it just seems to be like they popularize that shit, that you got to be like this mumble rapper, you gotta have a drug problem, be doing drugs, whatever. It's just I don't know, just a lot of this dark shit. Just bad atmosphere and rap overall, really. Weird. Would you say overall, Julio Cass, you're more into like the dance house stuff? Is that like your favorite genre? Do you have a particular favorite genre of music or Devo? Devil. How have I not heard that name, Devil? MC Devil. UK rapper Christian Webb. He was sacked from his job as a teacher. Hmm. He was a primary school teacher at King Edward's in Doncaster. He took a satirical takes on gang culture and lifestyle, but it led him to losing his job 4 years later. One parent said, everybody said he was brilliant, but you wouldn't want Ali G as your kid's teacher. Another said, kids don't realize it's meant to be a joke. So, private school teacher, he was fired after bosses discovered he had a secret double life as foul mouth rapper MC Devil. Yeah, be a bit hard to do both, would it? You know, not with all that kind of type of swearing and things he was saying. If it was like educational style rapping for children, that would maybe be a little bit different. But all right, yeah, yeah. Hall and Oates. I like I Can't Go For That. That's a really good song. I heard that, you know, with Hall and Oates, Julie Cass, in the song Billie Jean, they stole that bass line from I Can't Go From That. I Can't Go For That. But I like I Can't Go For That. That's a really good one. Um, they were the type of guys, you know what I mean? Like that, you know, white dudes, but you know, I think a lot of black people fucked with the music though, right? They really loved their stuff. And you know, you had the boy, what's his name? Was it Gnarls Barkley had done a um I don't know if it was just he did it with Hall, but there was a they did like a I don't know what it would have been like a 30-minute set. They did I Can't Go For That. You know, you should look that up. That's quite a good one as well. See that. Um, but they've got that thing now where Hall's suing Oates, right? I think that he's not Oates can't perform the songs that Hall wrote, you know, or whatever his gigs. It seems so petty that these guys, when they're like fucking late 70s, are soon, you know, one's suing the other, eh? But I Can't Go For That though is a pretty good one. Yeah, I don't know what your thoughts are. Uh, Spandau Ballet. The reason I say Spandau Ballet because they have that song "True," you know, and that has been sampled to death in rap. You know, first off, it was you know PM Dawn, Set Adrift in Memory Bliss, and then it's been sampled so many times. You know, Nelly sampled it with "And They Say," and then Lloyd, "I Want You." You know, so many people have sampled that song though. True, you know the ha 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 ha. I saw them live in 2017. Nice, nice. There's Scarborough's a place I've been to a lot in England, Julia Cast, and they get a lot of big names that go there. Um, they have this open air theater they had opened up, I think about maybe around 14 years ago or something like that, and you get a lot of big names there. My dad's been there a lot, you know. There was UB40 in 2015. We were there, family holiday, and from where we were at our like a villa place, I could hear from the outside, I could hear "I Can't Help Falling in Love" playing, you know? So, got to see that hear them for free a little bit, you know, UB40. That was the version Ali Campbell, Astro, and, oh, there was the other guy that played the keyboard. Um, yeah, True's the one, True's the one. McGold's a good one as well, that would be fair, right? I Don't Need This Pressure, that was another one. That was, like, their first one, I think, I Don't Need This Pressure. That's not a bad one. They had something to them, you know what I mean? And, you know, Gary Kemp had a lot of talent, you know? Is that a Spandau Ballet song, Scarb? UB40. Yeah, yeah. I can't help falling in love. I mean, I think that's better than the Elvis version, Julia Cass. I don't know about you, but Higher Ground, that's not a bad one. Kingston Town. Uh, Never really got into Duran Duran personally, but you know, big band in the 80s though, had talent. What about the Police, Sting, Julia Cass? What about them? I know you had that big thing with P. Diddy that he sampled the "Every Breath You Take" song, but then I don't know if he gets a lot of money from it now. Sting gets really a big for that. You got to look up Sting Shaggy, right, Jurkas? Which that's quite a random collaboration, right? Sting and Shaggy, but they're really good friends. I think they did a whole album together. But they did the Englishman in New York song. Then Shaggy's singing it, but he's saying, "Oh, I'm a Jamaican in New York." It's pretty good, Joe Cass. You should check that one out, mate. Yeah, the Police, they did have that kind of reggae vibe, or I don't know, maybe it was more ska, like, didn't they, early on? Message in a Bottle. Isn't there the one, was it Shape of My Heart? Was because Craig David then sampled that on the song he did with Sting, Rise and Fall. Hated Shaggy. When I was young, I didn't know any better. I liked some of his stuff. Yeah, It Wasn't Me was a big hit at the time when I was a kid. There was Angel as well. Shorty, you're my angel. You're my darling baby. He sampled the old Summertime one. Was that Mungo Jerry? Jared Rock Hall, yeah, 10cc. Yeah, yeah. I like their stuff. I'm Not in Love. That's a good one. Best song of all time. That's would be the most subjective thing ever, Julio Cast. You know what I mean? I mean, what would you say, like a Beatles one, or Fade to Grey? It's a different one, different. Going by what's really most popular with people, or maybe a Beatles one. A lot of people say, "What In My Life" or "A Day in the Life" was one of the best Beatles songs they had. I mean, that's the thing. I like the Beatles, but I still don't say they're the best. But being that I don't know, my old man, he lived through Beatlemania. He was 10 and he saw Hard Day's Night in the cinema. And had their big albums. Had Pepper, had the White Album, had Abbey Road. So I had that thing of Stones up on a pedestal, Beatles up on the pedestal. The Who. You have those just reference points, do you? Kind of like growing up as a kid here, and in the UK. Or styles of music, Duocast. I mean, some of the stuff you're into is a little bit different from me, but for me, like house, R&B, hip hop. Probably most stuff I like is it's from black culture really, but I even like listen to jazz. I like when it's music to try and just chill me out. I like to listen to jazz. I'm into quite a lot of jazz, and people can crap on jazz and say it's boring or whatever the fuck, but it works for me. It's just some nice music to just chill out to and relax. Jazz could do that. Would do the job. Beatles, yeah, I agree. Beatles were better than the Stones. Yeah, I definitely agree with that. Yeah. Uh huh. Um. Okay, I'm just gonna wrap this live stream up just in a few seconds. I appreciate you coming on, Juvicast, mate. Always can count on Regs to come through. Any last words or anything, any particular thing you would like me to discuss on the next live stream, Geocast? Any particular topic? Old Black Magic, Shirley Horn. I tell you what. Next live stream, we could do like just a listening session or something. Don't have to be a particular topic. We can just play some tunes. I'll take requests. It doesn't have to be all the stuff I want to pick. We could do that. Maybe get more of the regs are there. Cara, Maureen, Lanny. I haven't heard from Maureen in a few days now, but I know she's been a bit on and off, unwell. Things were problems with eyesight. But hopefully Maureen would be able to make it. But maybe just earlier live stream. I do it around 8ish would be a better time for doing one. But yeah, maybe that's a good idea for the next one. But yeah, so I think I'm just going to wrap up this live stream for now. But yeah, you too, Joe Cass. But thanks a lot. Appreciate you coming on, mate. Yeah, we can do one about Brexit. We can get into stuff there with Farage and that. Um, just a few different things that we can talk about, and I'll answer any questions as well, and also We'll play some quality tunes as well. That'd be nice. But yes, I think I'm just going to wrap this up for now. I'm just going to go downstairs, watch a little bit of snooker. The Scottish Open's on right now. But that's the live stream for now. So thanks, Julie Cass. Thanks others that tuned in. I appreciate it. And I'll probably be back for a live stream either. If it's not tomorrow, I'll probably be back on one for Thursday. Yeah, Finola's another name. I'm gonna have to try and find where all these people are at. It's been months since they've been last on. But hopefully they'll come back though. But thanks a lot though, Julia Cass. Thanks everybody else. Thank you. Cheers. Night.